Welcome back to Movified. I'm your host, Mark Hirschi, owner of Salmon's Moving and Storage, located in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. And today it is Movified Wednesdays. Welcome, Steven Reed. How are you, big guy?
Pretty good. It's been a great week. Met with a lot of Ready Rolls clients now, but had a really good week. Really encouraging. The information that we're giving out, I think, is really taking off, and it's being valued from my feedback. So I'm tickled about it. And I also did a conference this week on kind of how to value your business and how to approach the next stage of your business if you're interested. So learned a whole lot about how to buy a business, how to sell a business. So that was pretty neat.
What would you say was some of your takeaways?
We put a lot of clout into our EBITDA of the last 3 years, and I think as owners, we're always saying, I could just get a few more years, and then I want this. Where if you plan something, I learned that 5 year ahead of time is a big part of your value, of like where you're seeing yourself go, where the market's going, how you can validate that. I also, the biggest takeaway I had is one buyer is no buyer. If you don't have competition, this is the biggest thing you built your business for. If you only have one buyer, you have no buyer. And that's the big thing I wrote, the biggest at the steno pad at the end of the event.
Can you elaborate on that?
So they were saying, if you don't have two people competing on your business, right, to buy it, you're going to have a bunch of discounts. You're going to fall in love with selling the business as you go in the process. And you usually get taken advantage of. There's nothing to fall back on. So they'll just continue to take what they can on the value of the business and what they can put back in. And I learned a lot about, you can write your own ticket. So you can go to market to sell your business, and you can say, hey, I need investment. I'm willing to give this. This is what I want to do for my organization. And I need a buyer who's strong in this. So they were kind of giving some examples of some companies they had worked with. And it was, hey, I didn't know this, but I had this plan to franchise my business. And I went to market as, hey, I built this great business. I don't love being in the day-to-day of this business. I know my talent is, I know I can grow this business if I can go open up spas in different towns. And they found a couple of buyers that were interested in backing her and doing that. And she put her company on fire from that. So, you always think I always have heard in this industry, it's like, you're only worth what you are offered. And I learned that's not the case. If you plan it, if you get ahead of time, you go to market, your numbers are right, you know where you're going, it's valuable right then. So that was my takeaway.
I was having a conversation with a really successful business owner that's had 3 exit, out of companies that he's grown, bought, sold. And one of the takeaways when I was speaking with him was that, in order for you really to be successful, to have that exit plan, you need to make sure that your business is a well-oiled machine. You need to make sure that every area of your business is being controlled, that if you're the owner, you could step away and walk away from, or you want to find those right people in place. And we've talked about on the show too, right? Like your idea choice is to have those right people in those positions that are going to make your business thrive, then backfall.
Yep. Continue to grow. Take ownership of their department and where they're going. And that's the value. Your key assets are your people and your systems and where you're going. That was another takeaway of that. That's 80% of what they're buying these days.
I really disliked when somebody was leaving. When I knew someone was leaving the company, I always looked at it going like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Why are they leaving? And especially when I knew that, they might just turn around. I've had guys where, they said, oh, hey, listen, I'm going to go into this direction. And the next thing you know, they're honking their horn as I'm driving down the street and they're in a moving truck. And I'm like, well, what's happening here? And next thing you know, they're, oh yeah, I decided to do my own thing. And it looked really easy the way you were doing it. And I used to have this certain spite against them, right? Like wanting them to fail. Like there was this whole mentality where I was like, I don't want to support this. I don't like how this is going. And so for me, it was disheartening. And it's interesting how as you grow You learn, people say, the more you educate yourself, the more that you surround yourself with other like-minded individuals. When I think back of where I was, who I was as a person to where I am today, it's such a 180 shift where my mentality now is I want my employees to thrive. I know they won't be staying in my company for 20, 30 years. I know they're not going to, want to put in that overtime for free and work those extra hours on the weekend because it's not their business. You want them to be in the culture, you want them to thrive within the organization, but at the end of the day, you also want them to succeed in life, personally, and in business. And so, my view now is more of, where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself in like the next 5 years to 10 years? How can I, as a leader, as your boss, as the owner, as a friend, how can I get you there based on XYZ of all my past experiences these days?
Yeah.
It's different. It's an interesting mindset. And me and you have had these conversations of, how do you start a business to being successful in your 5 years, 10 years in? Where did you see yourself failing in the beginning? What was a big fail that you happened to when you started Big League?
Oh man, having a partner at the beginning, I think would be a big fail. It made it harder. Trying to figure out what this person wanted out of it. Working for two heads was very difficult. Going to that different city, that was a big thing that was critical for me. Not embracing the community, not stretching out the community that I had. Man, I guess a lot of the experiences now that I'm at approaching 17 years is I'm thinking, man, I'm glad I had them. I'm glad I had those certain things that happened. I did a phantom bonus. So everything at first I did was cash. I was Dave Ramsey in this sucker coming in here, and that's pretty difficult to do. I got with an accountant, and when I actually needed money to grow, he had done my books as a phantom bonus. That was a big hindrance on me. A bank doesn't care about a phantom bonus, and it stretches your numbers on purpose, so you don't pay taxes. And so I was in growth mode and couldn't get a credit line for growth mode because I was doing phantom bonuses. Those are a couple of things off the get go. I don't know if was that good. Yeah, I got did I have enough regret?
Moving companies, referrals are the best leads, right? But communicating with customers, tracking progress, managing payouts, it's just overwhelming. That's why at Snowball, we do it all for you. And we're really good at it. In fact, in just a few months, the Snowball platform helped JK Moving generate over $200K in new revenue. We even helped New City Moving book 30 moves in a single month. If you have happy customers, we can get you referrals. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get the first 2 months on us.
Hey, moving owners, if you're not at the top of Google, your competitors are taking the calls and book jobs that should be going to you. You're at war with them, and they are winning because they rank higher than you on Google. At Rotate Digital, we use the perfect blend of AI, secret blog networks, and moving industry SEO experts to make sure your business dominates Google in your area. We go to war online for you so that every Google search turns into your new customer and not your competitors. Stop losing to your competition and become the go-to moving titan in your area. Visit rotatedigital.com today to see who's outranking you and take the next step to booking more jobs from Google.
Yeah.
It brings me back to, I always look at someone that's in the industry, and when they tell me their past history before they got into moving history was like accounting, was working for, somewhere in the financial district. And you're like, I hate you right now because you know how to make sure your books are super tight and you know what's going on. There were days, especially at month end, I would just have wads. Do you use the word wads, Steven, in America? I just want to make sure here that we're clarifying the difference between decals and, not going through that.
I'm seeing where you're going with it first. We use
Okay.
wads,
Perfect.
but I want to know if it's the same,
Okay.
the same way. Let's see.
Wads of cash.
Okay.
I would have,
Same way.
I would have, $6,000. And you can imagine, like, probably all in 20s, like 50s, hundreds, just shoved in my jean pocket. And
Loving it.
thankfully, I don't even know skinny jeans were in then. I would have been screwed. But I had all this cash. Guys would come in, they'd want to get paid out at the end of the day. When I had like day laborer guys, you're just pulling cash out. Nothing's being recorded. Like, it's just, you're making it work. And then Friday night, month end, or Saturday night, everybody's back. It's like 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10 o'clock at night. And you're like, who's up? Who wants to go out for a drink? Now that money that was supposed to be from, to go into the bank is now going to like pay your bar tab. It's crazy when I look back at it going, what a wild time, and the inexperience of handling cash and just having this money and separating. And this is, I think, a lot what happens as business owners, especially when you start off in the moving world, is you're like, oh, wow, I just booked this job. We just finished that. There's $2,000 or $5,000. There's $1,000. And I'm even trying to have some type of perspective. To someone, having a $500 move is like amazing for them in one day. So, when we look at what that looks like, and now you have this cash in your hand because maybe you didn't set up the Visa machine or the MasterCard, or, I remember you have this money now and you separating your personal side of expenses as opposed to your business side of expenses. And there's so much mixing going on that it's crazy. Oh, hey,
I can write that off as a uniform. I got this new Elvis Memphis shirt. I can write that off as uniforms, right, Mark?
Oh my goodness.
I would start mixing it.
I had one of those like 80s, like, folder, like the umbrella, or the, like, the ukulele folder, whatever they used to call them. And
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah. And I just used to like toss all
Trapper
of these
keeper
receipts in this thing. And I would try and even separate, making sure I had 12 slots and just be like, shove. And then hoping, here you go, accountant, figure it all out. Where are you writing this off? Where are you writing that off? And they're going, well, I don't understand. Like, this lunch, you didn't eat any food. And I'm like, wow, we were talking business. All right. So like, got to write this off. When you fast forward to that,
every meal.
Yeah. It's wild when you think about it. And I remember when I first got involved in the moving industry, I was working for the guy that ended up buying out his company. And he was probably one of the worst mentors. He was, when you make a book of like what not to do.
Were you in an auction when you bought it? Was there a competitor? Was there two
that wanted to buy his company? No, not at all.
There you go.
It was
all, you're on the good side.
I was on the good side. I had the negotiating power, and I won. He was one of those guys that it was everything that you did not want to be as a moving company owner. And it made me go, this is what I don't want. And you see that a lot of relationships, right? That kid grows up, the parents are divorced, or the parents had situations going on. And you're like, I don't want to fall down that pathway. I am going to change the direction of my life because
I don't want to be that
want
unhappy
better.
person.
Yeah, I want better. And that's the way I looked at that company, and which is why I ended up purchasing the company, which is why I took it, from the 2-3 trucks that we had and grew it and, went to that milestone that we did.
Go ahead and flex a little bit. Right? You're proud of it. You
saw
should be.
The potential. It was my baby, right? It was my baby that I put blood, sweat, and tears in to make it what it was before exiting and having that plan. And at that time, when I did exit, we did have
kind of like
2
what
or
I
3
said
people.
with a partner, though. You were trying to figure out somebody else's intentions, made it a little harder to guide before you were owning it. Right?
I'll give you an example. It would be month end, right? This is when I just shared my story. This is what was happening. He would go, Mark, just tell the customers that the Visa machines are down. So if they can pay cash, that'd be great. Because he hated paying taxes. This guy was like evading anything left, right, and center. Do you remember the Yellow Pages? Did you guys have that in America?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the Yellow Pages, everybody had the phone books, right? Well, I remember when I was working on his website at the time, I would show up at his office. That was a complete shit show. And there would be guys showing up there going, when are you paying your bill? Like, it would be like, who the guys that show up, when they're going to summons you for court. Like they were like,
yeah, summoners.
yeah, they were coming there saying, here you go, here's your envelope. You owe Yellow Pages like $50,000, $100,000. Like just,
we deckled this page and you never
That's
paid the
right.
bill.
That's right. Exactly. So, and I should have walked away then, but I saw potential. And to me, when I see potential in something, I really want to go for it. And I want to make it the best possible business situation, however, a friendship, whatever that could look like. I want to see it thrive. It's really important that you have mentorship and try and find a group of like-minded individuals. I cannot say if I haven't shared this before, because to me it's so important. And you see that with, if you listen to our Christmas episode, we talk about this with the Let's Go Boys, as we coined ourselves. Let's go! Shout out to Nicole, Murdoch's Moving the Stores. Shout out to Austin. What up? What up, Central Coast, Josh Shipman at Coastal Carriers, and Matt Young at iHaul, iMove,
Josh,
and MovingLetters.ai.
Some of the best guys you'll ever meet.
These guys were all doing their own thing, aside from Austin and Nicole that knew each other through college. But, you know, the people that listen to this podcast, you've heard the story, you know the story. But, you know, we all met at moving retreats. We all found a likeness. We all found the fact that these were the only kind of guys that you could talk about moving 24/7 and not get yelled at by your wife or girlfriend saying, "Can you please? I don't want to hear about it anymore. I really can't hear about all your horror stories and glorified babysitting of your employees.
Your flat tire.
Oh.
And can you believe this guy said this? And
this happened.
This person hadn't paid the bill.
That's right.
You know, all the stuff we love to talk about.
That's right. So here we go. But what it did was it fired us up on all cylinders. So when you are starting any kind of business, you are doing your research on who your competitors are. We talked about this the other time of, you know, maybe giving them a call, maybe find out what your rates, like know your area, know your surrounding. If you are starting a moving company in your area that you know, fantastic. If you're moving to a new state, new city that you don't know, you know, make sure you're getting out there and understanding what your surroundings are like. It's like moving to a new home. You know, you want to find out where that elementary school is. If you have a kids, you want to find out where the community center is. Where is that grocery store? Where's the good restaurants? It's the same thing.
Well, you're really going to count on that community to support you.
100%. So, and you know, and that kind of leads me into the next thing, Steven. I'll let you take it from here. But it's, you know, once you kind of get that base established of, okay, I know what I'm looking for. This is what I want. I've started, I have my foundation. I got the truck, whether I'm renting it or I'm leasing it or I bought it. I have the moving pads. I got 2 or 3 guys that are here to help me support my moving company. I have a website up. I got business cards. Had someone make me a brochure. I am ready to go. You need to be not just an influencer, but come on, don't leave me hanging here.
I'm searching. You want to be a catalyst in your community? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, I think you need to make sure that you are the face of the company. You want to make sure that
you are the
knows.
Marketing. Yeah,
right. You are the
marketing. You're the catalyst of the market. You're the marketing company. You are not a moving company at first. They're buying you.
Exactly.
Your product is not anything fancy, right? It's a recycled truck from somebody else. We can still read the moving company. Right. It's whatever you've put together that's just starting in the business. You've got to sell yourself. You are what they trust right then. Right. It's not anything about your brand. You haven't had a professional brand in yet. Right. It's nothing else. You put yourself up there. 100%.
Are you a mover looking to make an impact? Discover Moving Letters AI and join the ML Plus Club today. Elevate your customer engagement with the personal touch of handwritten letters.
If you want to take your company to that next level, it's the only way to subscribe. If you're doing anything but Moving Letters AI, you need to get on it. So it's going to take your business to that next level. You're going to see an increase in that revenue. Let's go.
I highly recommend using this company. They're amazing to work with. They even send you an email on how much work they're producing for you.
Don't miss out. Join the revolution and start making moves that matter.
Put a golden damn ticket in there with Moving Letters AI.
Hi everyone, it's your favorite mover, Austin Yarbrough, and welcome to my school. The school is named Moving Army because it's inspired by Andy Elliott's team, and we've got some amazing changes coming for the moving industry, and I can't wait to work with you. In this school, we will be doing a 100-day fitness challenge. Wow. So what this means is we are going to be working out for 45 minutes minimum physical activity for 100 straight days. Stay tuned for more information and let's get moving.
It still surprises me to this day that I can drive around in the summer, month end, and find moving trucks that are blank, moving guys that are running around with tank tops, just plain t-shirts, no uniform, nothing. And some of those trucks might have a sticker, like small, like lettering that they went to like Home Depot and just bought all the letters and just put it along with, like, you know, their DOT number, if they even have one, or insurance documents, whatever you need on the side of your truck. And it's, you know, let's just say ABC Moving. And that's it.
Here's what I love. I love somebody asking, should I get a billboard, and doesn't have a beautiful side of their truck that they're rolling around on town wrapped, you know? Do I need to get a billboard? You might be missing out on something that has more views than you think.
Yeah, you have beautiful trucks.
Yeah,
I love your trucks.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know,
they weren't always beautiful.
You learn from it, you go from it, but you don't want to be sending out those trucks alone. I remember when I was trying to start getting into the staging companies, I was pursuing a lot of them to get their delivery accounts. And one of the big things that I found was setting me apart was I was showing up clean cut. I was showing up, you know, I mean, I don't have earrings or anything else, but there's persona of judgment. We've talked about it on the podcast before of, you know, how people can look at you. But
and you use it as an advantage.
Yeah. But one of the big things that I think anybody can do is, if you don't want to be throwing out the thousands of dollars for t-shirts and hoodies and all that kind of stuff to get started, start off small and make sure you have, you know, some type of spend. Like, use some of the first money that you have to make sure that your guys all have t-shirts, and that if you're going out there to market yourself, you should be having multiple t-shirts or golf shirts of your brand on your closet. I said to my wife the other day, I said, you know, I need to go through my drawers. I got to get rid of like all these t-shirts. She's like, what do you mean? I said, well, I basically flip-flop between 3 different types of styles. Either I'm wearing a Movified t-shirt, either I'm wearing a Salmon's shirt or hoodie, or I'm wearing a black t-shirt or a white t-shirt. I said, I have all of these other shirts that, like, I never ever wear. There. Yeah. And the reason for that is that these are my brands. This is what I want to wear. It, you know, and I always say, to me, there are 2 amazing examples of this. Chris Knowles from True Friends out in Nashville.
Yes, Chris, good.
Chris, shout out, buddy. If you're listening to this, still got to set up a time to get on the show. So let's DM each other. Let's figure something out, because I want to talk. And
I think we can call his Ready Roll now. We can schedule it through his Ready Roll
Done.
now. On that
Done.
side.
Let's do it. Chris, when I think of Chris, all I think is blue. All I see is this picture of it. I see it right now. I see his cartoon figure and the dog. It's there. It's on everything.
Blue suit.
Blue suit.
Blue apron. I mean,
blue
Chris
McLaren.
is always in it.
Blue McLaren. Let's not talk about his McLaren, right? Like, it's
truck. Blue truck. I have a Bronco in that blue, so guess who was loving it the first picture that was out there? Chris is like, I love it. You know, he embodies that color.
It's crazy because his favorite color is like green. I'm joking.
But I don't know that, but he embodies that color as his brand and does it well.
It does. And the other person that I always give shout outs is one of my best friends, Austin. Like,
yeah,
everywhere he goes, everybody knows where he's from. And that's because this guy, I think, has like a pajamas that are from Central Coast. This guy,
I picture him in that collared shirt that he's always in.
Always
right?
in
that collared shirt. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And now with his his coaching, one of his coaching videos, the first thing it wasn't that he was just wearing a black golf shirt. He wasn't even wearing Central Coast. He got actually away from that blue. He had a black golf shirt that said Austin Yarborough, like with his signature in white on his shirt, because he knows that he is making sure that everybody is going to have that impact to know who he is.
I'm the same way. I think you'll see in every podcast, I'm the same way. I wear Memphis. I wear any one of my friends' companies. I wear Movified. I wear anybody that supports my company. This right here is my friend's Dog Threads, right? Check this out. Dog Lay Threads. So I'll put a link on that. The Elvis Memphis. So every one of these shirts that I wear, a Movified shirt, right? One of my favorite shirts. Every one of my shirts is why am I going to wear polo when I can make Mark smile and make Mark think about how he wants to support my business? Why would Ralph Lauren doesn't give a crap. If I could wear this other business's thing and send him a picture, just remind him to support my business, why wouldn't I? And that's thinking about what people want. It means so much to us. Think about it when you see your friend that just shows up, you didn't expect it, and he's wearing a Movified shirt. You're like, give me a hug.
Oh, it makes me smile every time when I see someone sporting it and they're doing a bunch of push-ups. Right? I see guys in the moving community always sporting our green and our watermelon
watermelon shirt.
Yeah. And I love it, right? I mean, it's like, to me, it's amazing. What would that look like?
But it makes you feel good. So why don't you want to give that feeling to somebody else? You can. Not just your brand, but somebody else. Why would I want to? I can be cool and y'all can see a horse or a whale here, right? I got a whole closet full of them. Or I can support something in my local community, right? I know this shirt was made by somebody here, right? This hat was made by a dear friend of mine in Knoxville.
So I really hope people are kind of resonating with this. Like, if we haven't beat the dead horse on wearing your company logos, looking clean, looking fresh, get out there and meet people. Our company just had our winter party. Now, for all those people going, well, Christmas is over, Christmas is December, you're supposed to have your Christmas parties. One of the things I have to remind everybody is that at Salmon's, that's been around for 110 years, we have owner operators, and most of those guys have been around for 30, 40 years, have done so well that most of them take off for the month of December. And the policy always was that there would be a party in January to celebrate the past year, which I kind of like. It's almost like a kickoff to 2025. It's to say goodbye to 2024. But I gotta, Steven,
I like it too. I'll say that too, because everybody's so busy with Christmas plans. It's just another date that you have another Christmas party when you're doing it in that time. So I like the January thing you're doing.
I'll tell you one thing for everybody that's listening: to hold a Christmas, that's what we call it, a winter party in January as a business owner. There are so many community events, just like you said, in December, that most of my December weekends, whether it's a Thursday, a Friday, and a Saturday, are usually going to other businesses' Christmas events that they've opened it up to their vendors, to the industry, and to me, that is like prime time networking. So I don't want to interfere and say, hey, I got to think and I got to plan my own Christmas party. Forget it. I mean, have a potluck.
And you want to do stuff for your community too. Like if other companies are doing toys for tots or toy collections in any way, be there. But you want to be at all those things. You're a busy man as an owner around Christmas time.
Oh, for sure. And you're right.
That's kind of an opportunity. Like that's a commitment to your community on that side.
Yeah.
Is helping fix holes there.
Well, one of the things that I initiated years ago at this winter party was really bad dad jokes. So I want to see if like these are that bad.
Oh, okay.
What did the moving truck say to the boxes?
Go ahead.
Hang tight. We're going for a lift. It's so bad. It's so
everybody bad. Just clicked off.
Everybody's done. You know who's writing this stuff down? Chris Sweet at Swamp Rabbit. Because if you watch some of his Instagram clips, him and I think one of his general managers there, those two sit there saying jokes back and forth to each other as a fun clip, and I love it.
Yeah, we do that leading up to Father's Day for all of June. We have a contest, and we'll have our team sit next to each other, like between the ferns. and see who cracks on the laughing.
Yeah, I love it. I got one more. What did the box say to the moving tape? Stick with me and we'll go places. All right. I am not going to ruin this episode with really bad moving jokes.
You ruined it, but you got me laughing on both of them.
Perfect.
So, it worked for me.
Perfect.
Well, talking about Austin,
yeah,
I gotta say, I gotta spend a little minute on him because, like, I'm in awe of what he's doing. Like, the guy is everywhere, and it's all positive. It's all positive for this moving industry. It's all positive for entrepreneurs. So, Austin, I know I don't private message you enough, but I got to give you a shout out, man, brother. You're doing it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the impact you're making on this industry, and I love every bit of it. So shout out, salute.
Shout out to Austin. Let's go, buddy. I remember having a conversation with Austin a year ago, and we were talking about what some of our goals, what our plans were, with the podcast, with business. He had a couple ventures that he was looking to get into. And I know that one of the big things was he was heavily investing in himself, which, I recommend to everybody. And the biggest setback for any one person, guilty, 100%, is to be part of a retreat, a summit, being part of a program, a coaching program, and not putting 100% effort into it. It's one thing to it's one thing to go to
it's on the side.
It's one thing to scribble down in your books, scribble down in your iPad, and then you go back and you don't implement anything. To me, I think I always try to make a goal and say, look, okay, I got my top 10 things that I've taken away from XYZ retreat, summit, wherever I'm going. I want to at least make sure that I'm implementing 3.
Yep. I do 5.
Exactly. See, perfect. And I got to move it up to 5. I think my goal this year is to make sure that I'm at least taking 5 of those actions and making sure I stick through it.
Are we going ATA conference?
Yeah, we are.
We are.
It looks like we
the
are.
road.
It looks like we are, and I don't want to toot anybody's horn or throw anybody. I just want to say, for those that are listening, it's not 100% fully confirmed. I have a call, I believe, early next week, and it is to have some type of setup plan, some type of schedule where Movified is going to be out in Nashville, March 9th to the 11th.
Tennessee. I'll have you on
Nashville, Tennessee. Is there another Nashville? Is there 2 Nashvilles?
Nope, but I just wanted to give a shout. It's in my stomping grounds over here.
It's in your stomping grounds. I'm pretty excited. And we're looking to have Movified there set up to do some recordings. Me and Steven will definitely be doing a Movified Wednesday episode with hopefully a live episode there on site, and we're pretty excited to kind of have fun there, to really engage with the moving community that we might not see at the other events that we go to. So
it's a different crowd, and that's what I'm saying. I've never been really a part of that crowd, never gone to the ATA conferences, and getting to know that side of the industry through you and this podcast and others, kind of putting myself out there this year. I'm so excited to be a part. I can learn so much from each other.
It's pretty interesting, the conversations that I've had with the ATA and over at the Canadian Association of Movers, because here's the Canadian side, there's the American side of, the main associations to be a part of, is they're boring. They're an old boys club. They are redundant information. They bring in speakers that really don't bring any relevancy to what's happening in today's market. I don't really have an interest to know what somebody from the real estate board wants to talk about, how the world is going to look like in 2025 for local moves. I can turn on my.
Are we bringing the energy? Are we bringing the boom?
We're going to be bringing the energy. We're going to bring that. I think we're going to bring a little bit of that tighten up energy to the event. We're going to bring let's go energy. We're going to also bring some moving army energy. And for any of those
That's
that are
right.
seeing the new Moving Army sponsorship, that is, see, this is the problem with ADHD. We were talking about one thing, we jumped over to another thing, and I'm going to jump right back.
Hey,
So,
we're in the moving industry, right? So they're hanging with us. They're right with us.
That's right.
If they're listening still.
If you want a fun podcast, listen to Joe Rogan interview Donald Trump. And Donald Trump loves to, I don't want to bring politics and anything in here for all of those people that don't like him or do like him, but one of the things he says is he's a weaver. He likes to tell a story, go in, talk about other stories, but at the end of the day, he always brings all of the stories back into one. And unfortunately, in the world of technology, he says what happens is he goes off on one story, they pick apart the first story, they put it into the fourth story, and they put it together and makes them look bad, supposedly. But let's do some weaving here, all right? Let's flip right back. So after the conversation with Austin a year ago, one of his big things was he wanted to get into coaching. He wanted to make an impact in the moving community that was going to be like no other. He wanted to come in and be this 2.0 version of what a moving company that is from $100,000 in sales to $10 million in sales should look like, and wants to make sure that the foundation part of where you should be at, whether it's living a balanced life, whether it's making sure you are marketing your company effectively, everything that we talk about a lot on this podcast is what his goal is. And the next thing you know, he comes to our group and says, Moving Army, it starts tomorrow. And it was like go time. And the amount of work Austin's been putting in, I love that guy. He's a good friend of mine. He really wants to see people succeed. And if you haven't seen half the people every morning when you look on your Facebook feed, all of those reels at the top are, at least for myself, by the time it's 8 a.m. on the West Coast, all I see is a dozen people doing push-ups, because he's got everybody doing push-ups.
It's a healthy industry.
He's got everybody on a 100-day challenge. He's got this moving vault that is like no other, where he is constantly wanting to improve himself and improve the group. He's got a fantastic group already. I think he has already about 30, 40 people, if not more.
I think I saw
apologize, Austin. I don't want to
keep up with it.
I don't want to underestimate this. I think there's might be 100 people that are in this already, but
I'm keeping up with his ticker. He's pretty public about it. He's like, hey, we got a new member, and I'm every time I'm fist bumping with him. I'm on it. It's a great thing. I'm definitely proud of what he's doing. It's hardest worker in the room. This guy's giving me a run.
I know, right?
I'm excited to see where it's going. Right?
Exactly.
He really is.
Well, and coming up at the end of April, more information to come. But there is going to be a 2-day event that is being held, and it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be in Arizona, and I want to see everybody there. I think it's going to be fantastic. So everybody can learn something from this. It's going to be, I don't want, you know what? We're going to have get Austin on here. We'll have him on Movified Wednesdays and just let him rant about it when it comes up, because I don't want to give out details.
You got to hit his inbox. Y'all got to hit his inbox in the
DM
meantime.
him, sign up.
Doing a sneak peek.
The program is so affordable that he has set up. It's 2 times a week. He does live Zoom call coachings, whether it's the sales teams that he has doing coaching calls or accountability teams. He really wants to make sure people are thriving. So we're fully supporting him on that, and I am so amazed to see where he's going to take it for 2025.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't wait to see him when he's my age on this side. It's he's going it. I mean, he's
for sure.
He's doing it right.
Customer satisfaction. When someone is planning a big move, and what are those one pieces of advice that your moving consultants share with that customer? To have that customer satisfaction at the end of the day. Is there something that you guys have as a spiel that you say to the customer as to give that trust, Or, is there just more tips and advice that you give them? Like, can you share some of those notes before we end this fun Movified Wednesday?
Yeah, yeah. So, one of the big things that we talk about, and I don't even know if this story's true. I'm a storyteller. I'm a weaver, right? I lead by storytelling, and a lot of my stories, I have no clue. There's probably some validity to it, but I'll take it and add to it. But Disney, right? And so 2008 's when I started, and a lot of times the culture of reviews started happening, right? And hospitality is one of the first things that gets hit. And so this is what I share with my organization all the time. And Disney couldn't figure it out. They had the greatest hotel, all this experience, but they kept getting 1-star reviews. And it was stuff they couldn't control. Marriott couldn't figure it out. How do we know when a light bulb's going to go out? That's getting us a 1-star review. How in the world would we have known that? I mean, we can't change light bulbs. We can't know when they're going to go out, right? And they had those questions, and they were just victims. Well, Disney, what I always say is Disney, because everybody relates to Disney, is Disney came out and they taught every employee to communicate in the intro, besides the hello and being polite, you must finish that sentence with, if you receive anything less than 5-star service here today, please let me know. So when you get on the shuttle bus, hey, I'm the driver, Ronald. If you receive anything less than 5-star service, let me know. Then I walk to the hotel. I go to the hotel clerk. Hey, just want to let you know if there's anything that's less than 5-star service, please let me know. You go to the bellboy with the luggage. Hey, just want to let you know, you get thirsty or whatever it is, there's anything less than 5-star service, let me know. And you keep hearing that as you go through the park. Well, what does that start doing? That started changing Disney to be the 5-star company, because when that light bulb went out, the first thing that came to mind was, let me call that front delegates, because you've heard it so many times. And so we do the same thing. We do a mid-move check-in. We tell the customer when we're booking them, we're saying, hey, our guys are incentivized by your feedback. So we're going to ask for it. And when you don't have it, that's okay. That's a signal to us that we need to follow back through. But we're going to ask you anything less than 5-star service, that matters to us. And that's how we're driven in the system. So confirmation call, if you're unsettled about anything, receive anything less than 5-star service, we do the pack call. Do you need the extra packing? If you receive anything less than 5-star service. When we get there, when we're on the way to the move, we're texting that. Our driver's saying that, come get me off the truck. I do the tiers. I'm the leader here, but I'm not in the house all the time. So come get me if you receive anything less than 5-star service. Vincent, my main guy, he's checking in, mid-move check-in. Hey, my job is to make sure you see 5-star service. I can't do it if I don't know. So give me a call before it's too late. And so we are all, like, customers it's in their head to leave a 5-star, first of all, right? But the other side is they have no hesitation in calling us before it's too late. And I have, we can give it to Disney. I don't know if that's true. I've always said it's Disney. It relates. It sticks in people's minds. But that's how we do it at Big League, is talk about the 5-star culture to the customer, but mostly talk about, come get us if you receive anything less. And that's when you actually get customers say, hey, I want to give y'all a chance to tell you this third guy's new or something. What's going on with him? Or hey, this guy's injured. I didn't know, but I would leave you a review later.
I like it. I think that's it's a great answer. We'll keep this in. We won't edit. We won't cut it out.
Kind of a lie.
We'll keep
so I'm shamefully telling that story, but I'm telling everybody it is a lie, but that's a good story to tell. You can put your own addition. Call it Marriott if you want to use it, or call it Big League, because I guess that's what it is now.
It's important, and I think that should resonate with everybody, to make sure that we are validating our customers' concerns, because a lot of them don't understand the moving lingo. They, you know it, you talk about it all day, every day. We all know what we're talking about, but the customers don't. They're maybe moving once every 5-10 years. Maybe they haven't moved in like 30 years from their house. Maybe they move every year and they're kind of like, look, I get it. And this is, I already know the whole spiel. But you should be able to read the customer, listen to them, and ask the appropriate questions and educate them on how do I make this a 10 for you to book? What kind of services can I make sure that this is going to be a 5-star move? And do you understand everything that I'm putting forth, right? Like, to understand everything that we're talking about here. And is there anything else that I can help clarify?
Moving's so hard. We don't know what every customer's educated on. So we gotta try to look for those signals of uncertainty. Over here, we'll just cover it, right?
Make sure you are finding out and we've talked about this in the podcast, because, a lot of people with their FAQs on their websites, or if they don't even have any, they're not answering half the stuff that the customers are asking.
Actually wondered, yeah.
That want to know. So, find out those pain points for the customers, answer them out, use, ChatGPT or DeepSeek or whatever you can use to, if you're not very good at writing, or if you have a web designer or SEO team that can help, build something out, but then write down those answers for the customers and build that FAQ out. It's going to help you with your keywords too. I mean, come on, figure it out.
I got an extra credit throw out there people think about for the week, Mark. ChatGPT operator.
Oh, oh man, are we extending this whole podcast now for another 10 minutes to talk about ChatGPT operator?
No, I want to give an extra credit. Check it out. Check it out if you haven't, guys. You'll see that maybe our industry is going to change a little bit. So check out that. Do your homework. There might be a little disruption. We might all need to think about online booking a little stronger.
I've watched some clips and I've fooled around with the operator, and some of the stuff that it can do from point A to point B is pretty amazing.
Yep. So, hey, enjoy your weekend, guys. If you listen to us, it's a pretty cool journey, that operator on site. So that's just an extra credit. We're not going to go down that episode here, but
and share your comments or concerns with us as well too. We want to hear from you, and always we appreciate your feedback. So, signing off, everybody. Have a fantastic week, and thank you, Steven, again for coming on the show. Stay Movified.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
No, thank you. Thank you, coming from the Vancouver Grizzlies all the way to the Memphis Grizzlies. A little sports pun on that one. All right, everybody, stay Movified.